Welcome to a new e-learning paradigm, AplusMap.ai.
Our mission today, well, we're taking a big stack of information, this time all about how markets are structured, and pulling out the absolute must-know nuggets for you. Think of it as your shortcut to really grasping the economic forces shaping things around us. Today, we're jumping into a really foundational topic in microeconomics, perfect competition. It's a major cornerstone concept, helps us understand ideal markets, and it's something you'll definitely want to get a firm grip on, especially for that AP exam.
That's absolutely right. We'll break down its, well, sometimes surprising features, how firms actually make decisions in this kind of unique setup, and, what it all means for efficiency and how markets change over time. Consider this your concentrated boost to really making sense of this vital economic model.
Okay, so if perfect competition is this theoretical benchmark, this ideal for efficiency, what are the actual building blocks? What makes it so unique? Let's peel back those layers.
Yeah.
All right, let's start breaking down perfect competition.
Right. But before we zoom right in, maybe we should quickly talk about the whole spectrum of market structures, I mean. It's a pretty crucial framework, helps you understand how different industries work from super intense rivalry to just one dominant player.
Exactly. It's a spectrum. On one end, we have perfect competition that's our focus today. It represents the most competitive market you can really imagine, and, maybe surprisingly, it's often seen as the best for consumers because of its efficiency. Then, moving along, you get monopolistic competition, lots of variety there, product differentiation, but yeah, some inefficiencies creep in. Next up is oligopoly. That's characterized by just a few powerful firms. You get these fascinating, sometimes kind of risky dynamics, interdependence, maybe even collusion. And then way at the other end, monopoly. Just one firm controlling everything usually means less choice for consumers, potentially higher prices. Okay, got it. So today our deep dive is exclusively on perfect competition, because understanding this one really unlocks a lot of other economic ideas, right? So let's break it down feature by feature so you can really get this locked in.
Okay, first thing, in a perfectly competitive market, there are many sellers. Loads of them. And they're all competing intensely, selling essentially the exact same thing. And when we say same, we mean truly identical. They're homogeneous products. Think basic farm goods like wheat or maybe unbranded milk. There's just no way for one farmer's wheat to stand out from another's. It's all the same to the buyer. That lack of difference, it's absolutely key.
Okay, many sellers, identical products. Now, you mentioned something earlier in the outline, easy entry and easy exit. Why is that such a game changer? What does it force firms to do or maybe prevent them from doing?
That's a fantastic question, because easy entry and exit, that's basically the engine driving so many of perfect competition's unique results. Think about it like this. If you're making, say, really good money selling lemonade on a hot day, and there's nothing stopping anyone else, no special permit, no crazy expensive stand, how long before others pop up right next to you?
Not long at all, I'd imagine.
Exactly. That easy entry means if there are economic profits to be made, new firms are going to jump in fast. And that quick entry, it dilutes those profits, pushes prices down, which ultimately is great for consumers. And the flip side, easy exit, means if firms are losing money, they can just pack up and leave without huge costs. It keeps the market super dynamic.
Right, okay. And because there's so many firms, identical products, easy entry, firms have essentially zero control over price. They're just price takers.
Precisely. They are price takers. They simply have to accept the market price that's set by the overall supply and demand in the market. They have absolutely no power to set it themselves. If one little firm tried to charge even a penny more,
Poof. Customers vanish. They just go to the next guy selling the same thing for the market price.
you got it. That's the price taker reality. And this flows right into profit. Now, in the short run, sure, a firm might get lucky and earn positive economic profits, or they might be losing money. But here's the kicker for the long run, and this is crucial. Those economic profits always get competed away down to zero.
Zero. Like they make no money.
Well, not $0, but zero economic profit. It means they're making what we call normal profit. They're covering all their costs, wages, materials, rent, and the opportunity cost of their time and capital, but nothing extra on top.
Ah, okay, so that easy entry is what drives profits down to that normal level.
Exactly. If profits appear, firms enter, supply goes up, price comes down, and poof, the extra profit disappears.
So if they're just one of many identical products, easy entry, price takers, it really sounds like these firms have no market power whatsoever. Is that the gist?
That's the essence of it. They're too small, too numerous. They can't influence the price or the market conditions in any meaningful way. They just react to the market, selling what they can at the going price.
Just one tiny fish in a huge ocean.
A perfect analogy.
And what about the demand curve for just one of these firms? I remember something about it being perfectly elastic, like completely flat on a graph. Why is that so important?
Absolutely. That horizontal demand curve is critical. It's the visual representation of being a price taker. It means the firm can sell basically any quantity it wants at the market price. But if it tries to raise the price even a tiny bit,
Demand drops to zero. Instantly.
instantly, because buyers can get the exact same thing from countless others at the market price. So perfectly elastic demand for the individual firm. And finally, let's touch on efficiency. This is where perfect competition really sort of shines. It's why economists often use it as a benchmark. It's allocatively efficient. In the long run, price equals marginal cost. This means society is getting the right amount of the good resources are allocated where people want them most. And it's also productively efficient. Price equals the minimum point on the average total cost curve. Firms are producing at the lowest possible cost, no waste.
Wow. Okay. So hitting both allocative and productive efficiency, that's pretty impressive.
It really is. It's a powerful outcome and a key reason this model is so important to understand.
So let's nail this down. How does a firm actually maximize profit under perfect competition?
It's simple. Their goal is profit maximization, which means they produce up to the level where their profit is highest. They have to do this while acting as a price taker, since the market, not the firm, sets the price.
Okay, let's really drill down on that price taker idea and see how it plays out on the graphs. Because this is like a classic graph setup you see all the time, right? The market on one side, the firm on the other.
Exactly. It's a standard two-panel diagram. On the left, you've got the overall market graph. Regular downward-sloping demand, upward-sloping supply, where they cross. That determines the market equilibrium price, let's call it PM. Now, once that price, PM, is set in the market,
The individual firm just has to accept it, no questions asked.
precisely, they are pure price takers. So they look at that market price, PM, and that becomes their price.
Okay, so on the firm's graph, the one on the right, that market price just becomes a horizontal line.
Yep, a perfectly horizontal line at the level of PM. And here's the really key identity unique to perfect competition. That is MR equals D equals AR equals P.
Whoa, okay. Marginal revenue equals demand equals average revenue equals price. Why does that only happen here?
Think about it. If the firm wants to sell one more unit, what price can it sell it for?
Only the market price, PM.
Right. So the extra revenue it gets from selling one more unit, its marginal revenue, MR, is just the price, P. And since it can sell any amount at that price, the price is its demand curve, D. And the average revenue MR it gets per unit is also just the price. So just keep in mind that for a firm in perfect competition, MR is DARP, all represented by that single horizontal line. It's a direct consequence of being a price taker. Super important identity to remember for the exam.
Okay, that makes sense for the price and the demand curve. But now if I'm the individual firm, how do I figure out how much I should actually produce? Like, what's the quantity that makes me the most profit, or at least loses the least money? Is there a rule for that?
There absolutely is. And it's a foundational rule in economics applies to all firms, not just perfectly competitive ones, but it's really clear here. It's the golden rule of profit maximization. The definition is simply finding the quantity of output where the firm earns the most possible profit or minimizes its losses if it's not profitable, and the rule itself. Produce where marginal revenue, MR, equals marginal cost, MO.
MR equals MC. Okay.
You will definitely see this rule again and again. Multiple choice, FRQs, it's everywhere. A must know.
Right, MRMC. I can picture that graph, the flat MR line we just talked about, and then the typical swoosh-shaped or U-shaped marginal cost curve. Why is that intersection point the magic spot? Why not produce more or less?
Great question. Let's think through it with three simple scenarios. Scenario 1. What if your marginal revenue is greater than your marginal cost?
The money I get from selling one more is more than the cost to make it.
Exactly. So what should you do?
Make it. Keep producing. Each extra one adds to my profit.
Precisely. You'd be leaving profit on the table if you stopped producing while MR was still above MC.
Okay, makes sense. Keep going if MR is above MC. What about the opposite?
Scenario 2. Now what if MR is less than MC?
It costs me more to make the next one than I get from selling it.
Right. So producing that unit would actually reduce your total profit or increase your loss. So what do?
Cut back. Don't produce that last unit, maybe even the one before it.
Exactly. You've gone too far. You need to scale back production.
Okay. So don't produce if MR is less than MC. Which leaves?
Scenario 3. the sweet spot. MR equals MC. At this exact quantity, you've produced every single unit that added more to revenue than it did to cost. The very last unit produced essentially broke even in terms of its marginal contribution. If you produce one more unit beyond this point, you'll start losing money on those extra units because MC will be greater than MR. If you stop before this point, you're missing out on profit you could have made because MR would still be greater than MC. MR equals MC. Gives you the profit maximizing level of output. Always remember that rule.
So MR equals MC tells us how much to produce if you're producing. But now let's tackle that really critical short-run decision. Should the firm even be producing at all, or should it just shut down temporarily? And maybe more importantly, how can we tell from the graph if the firm is actually making a profit, just breaking even, or losing money?
Right, this is super practical. We use those cost curves, average total cost, ADC, and average variable cost, AVC, along with the price, which is also MR for this firm, to figure it out. Let's walk through 4 key scenarios using those classic graphs you'll definitely see. Okay, panel 1, economic profit. Here, the firm finds the quantity where MR equals MC, like always. Now look where the price, the MR line, is relative to the ATC curve at that quantity. If the price is greater than ATC, at the profit maximizing quantity, the firm's covering all its costs and has money left over. That difference, that rectangle between the price and the ATC curve, is economic profit.
So price is greater than ATC. That means profit. Keep producing, obviously.
Absolutely. They're making money above and beyond just covering costs. Definitely stay open. Now, panel 2, the shutdown case. Again, find where MRMC. But this time, look where the price is relative to the average variable cost, AVC curve. If the price is below AVC, the firm isn't even earning enough revenue per unit to cover its basic variable costs, things like wages for workers needed right now or raw materials.
So every unit they make, they're losing money just on the day-to-day operational costs.
Oh, exactly. In this case, they lose less money by shutting down entirely in the short run. They'll still have to pay their fixed costs, like rent, but they avoid losing even more money on variable costs by operating.
Okay, so price is below AVC, that means shut down. Got it.
Critical rule. Now, panel 3, normal profit or break even. Find MRMC. This time, the price equals ATC, exactly at that quantity. It's also above AVC, naturally. Here, the firm is covering all its costs, including those opportunity costs we talked about, but there's no extra economic profit left over. Revenue per unit just matches cost per unit.
So they're not making extra, but they're not losing either, just covering everything. Normal profit.
Precisely. Normal profit or breaking even in an economic sense, they should definitely stay open.
Okay, and the last one, this is the tricky one, right?
Yeah, panel 4. Loss, but still operating. Find MRMC. Here are the prices below ATC, so the firm is losing money overall. But critically, the price is still above AVC.
So they're losing money in total, but the price they get is still enough to cover the variable costs of making each unit, and maybe a little bit left over.
Exactly. That little bit left over can go towards paying some of the fixed costs. If they shut down because PAVC isn't true, they'd have to pay all the fixed costs out of pocket. By operating, even at a loss, they minimize that loss because the revenue covers variable costs and contributes something to fixed costs.
Okay. So even though they're losing money, they lose less by staying open than by shutting down, as long as price is greater than average variable cost.
You've got it. So price is less than average total cost ATC, but price is greater than AVC. That means stay open, at least for now. Hope prices go up or figure out how to cut costs.
Wow. Okay, let me try to summarize those rules quickly. Profit occurs when price is greater than ATC, the state of loss. But stay open is defined by price being less than ATC, but greater than AVC. Loss and shutdown occurs when price is less than AVC, and break even is met when price is equal to ATC.
It is absolutely important to understand these 4 scenarios and be able to spot them on a graph by comparing price to ATC and AVC, especially when MR is equal to the MC quantity.
Okay, we touched on this earlier, but let's circle back. Perfect competition is often called the ideal or the benchmark because it's so efficient. Why is that again? What do those efficiency types really mean for us, for society?
Right. It gets back to why economists study this model so much, even though pure examples are rare. It achieves 2 key types of efficiency in the long run, which is pretty special. First, there's allocative efficiency. Remember, that happens when price equals marginal cost. P equals MC.
Price is what we're willing to pay. Marginal cost is the cost of making one more.
Exactly. So when P equals MC, it means the value society places on the last unit produced, P, is exactly equal to the cost of the resources used to make that last unit, MC. We're producing just the right amount, not too much, not too little. Resources are allocated perfectly according to society's desires.
Okay, allocative efficiency, the right amount produced. What's the other one?
The other is productive efficiency. This happens when firms produce at the lowest possible average cost. On the graph, this means price equals the minimum point on the average total cost curve. P equals minimum ATC. It means firms aren't wasting resources. They're using the best available technology, managing things efficiently, producing each unit as cheaply as possible. No fat, just lean production.
Got it. So productive efficiency means lowest cost production. Price equals the minimum point on the average total cost curve.
And the remarkable thing about perfect competition, especially in its long-run equilibrium, is that it achieves both allocative efficiency, price equals MC, and productive efficiency, price equals minimum ATC, simultaneously.
Which is pretty rare in other market types, right?
Very rare. That combination makes it a really important theoretical benchmark for evaluating how well other real-world markets are performing.
So we've got the short rundown, the decisions firms make, but what about the long run? You mentioned firms can enter or exit freely, and all inputs become variable. What's the big picture outcome there?
The key outcome, the defining feature of the long run in perfect competition, is that firms earn zero economic profit, or as we said, normal profit. This happens because the market adjusts until the price settles exactly at the minimum point of the average total cost curve. So P equals minimum ATC. That ensures firms cover all costs, including opportunity costs, but nothing more. No long-run gravy train.
Okay, zero economic profit in the long run. But how does the market get there? Let's say firms are making profits in the short run. How does that trigger the adjustment? This seems like a classic AP topic, showing that dynamic process.
Absolutely. It's a core dynamic. Let's walk through it in two parts. Part one, short-run economic profit. Imagine something happens to increase market demand. Maybe a new study says wheat is super healthy. The market demand curve shifts right.
Okay, demand increases, so the market price goes up.
Right. The market equilibrium price rises. Now, what does our little price-taking firm see?
It sees a higher horizontal line for its price, demand. Yes.
Exactly. That MRDARP line shifts upwards. The firm still produces where its new higher MR hits its MC curve. But now, at that quantity, the price is likely well above its ATC curve.
So price is greater than ATC, economic profit.
Bingo. In the short run, an increase in market demand leads to a higher price and positive economic profits for the existing firms.
Okay, but you said profits don't last.
Correct. Now for part two, long-run adjustment. What do those juicy economic profits signal to people outside the market?
Hey, come on in. Money to be made here.
Precisely. That profit is like a beacon. Because entry is easy, new firms are attracted and they start entering the industry. What does adding more firms, more suppliers, do to the market supply curve?
Oh, market supply increases. It shifts to the right.
Right. And when the market supply curve shifts right, what happens to the market equilibrium price?
Oh, price falls.
Price falls. So back on our individual firms graph, that horizontal PMRDAR line starts to shift back down.
Okay. So the entry of new firms pushes the price back down.
And it keeps falling as long as firms keep entering, which they will, as long as there's economic profit to be had. Where does it stop?
It stops when the price gets pushed all the way back down to where it just touches the bottom of the ATC curve. P equals minimum ATC.
Exactly. At that point, price equals ATC at its minimum. Economic profit is zero, and there's no more incentive for new firms to enter. The market reaches its long-run equilibrium.
Wow. So to recap that whole adjustment, short-run profit attracts new firms. New firms enter, increasing market supply. Increased supply pushes the market price down. Price falls until economic profit hits zero, leaving only normal profit. P ends up at minimum ATC.
You've nailed it. That dynamic short-run profits leading to entry, driving price down to long-run zero economic profit is fundamental. Understanding that adjustment process is key. This is the last chapter. Check the answers to the practice problems you solved in the video. Got it, everyone. Hope you followed along with today's lecture. Now, let's break down those quiz answers and make sure everything we covered really sticks. You can grab the complete mind map Musica. It's a killer snapshot of today's lesson, plus a super detailed AP economics textbook at www.aplusmap.ai. Ready? Let's get into those quiz answers.
We've hit the core features, that crucial price taker identity, the MR equals MC rule for maximizing profit, how firms make those short-run calls on producing or shutting down, the different kinds of efficiency that make it, well, kind of the ideal model, and how the market adjusts in the long run back to that zero economic profit equilibrium.
Yeah, mastering these concepts really gives you a powerful lens. It's not just about perfect competition itself, but it helps you understand how other market structures, differ from this benchmark. You've got a really solid foundation now for understanding why economists consider it this theoretical ideal, even if finding a purely perfect example in the real world is pretty tricky.
We hope you're excited for what's next. For more learning materials, please visit aplusmap.ai.